Hey everybody, Arashi here, back again with another upload. Now this is kind of a follow-up video to why Ahsoka can't beat Baylan Skoll, a video that I made 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. If you want to, you can go and check it out. But soon after that, I started asking myself, how powerful exactly is Baylan Skoll? Because honestly, at the end of the day, when you think about it, Ahsoka isn't just some run-of-the-mill Jedi. She's, at this point of her career, very powerful and very wise.
And while watching Ahsoka, you begin to realize that she's really trying her best here, and she's getting bested at every moment. Now, I know in both fights, she was getting pushed back a lot, but she also did get blindsided at one point because she tried to grab the map with her hand and ended up hurting herself. But in the second fight, she was also more or less stalling for time, but why would she have to stall for time if she was strong enough to beat him? That's my question. If you're 100% strong enough to beat someone, you're not just going to sit there and try to stall for time, I guess. I mean, you would try to dismantle that person, at least. One thing I have noticed about Baylan Skoll versus Ahsoka Tano debates is that there's been a misconception amongst the Star Wars community. The Star Wars community seems to think that Baylan Skoll really didn't want to take out Ahsoka at this moment, or really wasn't trying to beat her, and I have to completely disagree with that. Now, I know that Baylan Skoll did say that he didn't want to take out any Force users. It's a shame to see them die, essentially. And I completely understand that sentiment, but I have proof that essentially that Baylan Skoll really didn't care about Ahsoka, nor did he care about Anakin Skywalker. Because if you've been watching the show and you watch the show, you would have picked up on this one line that he said while fighting Ahsoka.
Your legacy, like your master's, is one of death and destruction.
Now, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but to me, that seems like pure unadulterated hatred and rage to me. And just that simple part right there, I could probably bring up a few more, but that simple line right there proves to me at least that he was really trying to take out Ahsoka, and he really didn't care for her or Anakin Skywalker whatsoever. And who can really blame Baylan for feeling that way, honestly? If we don't know too much about his time during the Jedi Temple, we'll find out soon, but we could tell that he doesn't like Anakin or Ahsoka. Now that I have the proof that Baylan was essentially going all out, or probably not even all out, he honestly looked like he was barely even trying to beat Ahsoka, and he was just besting her at every corner. Now, that leads you to the next question. Just how powerful is Baylan Skoll? For context, we can pretty much assume that he's just as strong as Ahsoka Tano, and in my opinion, maybe even a little bit stronger than Ahsoka. So where exactly would that rank Baylan? Well, for that, we're going to have to dive into some of Ahsoka's feats. Now, we know that Ahsoka can dismantle Inquisitors like absolutely nothing. She just sliced through them like a hot knife through butter. And we saw that through Rebels and through a one-off episode of Tales of the Jedi. She even beat an Inquisitor just by using the Force itself, not even pulling out a lightsaber, and then dismantled him within a couple of seconds. Also, during the Clone Wars, we get to see her go one-on-one with Grievous and actually make it out to tell the tale. Not too many Jedi are able to do that. She held her own. Now, she didn't beat him by any means. Don't get that twisted. Do not get that twisted at all. She didn't beat Grievous. But all I'm doing is giving credit where credit is due. She was able to survive and be able to get away from Grievous and actually hold him off for a little bit. Now, that's a feat on its own. I mean, we saw many Jedi Padawans, Jedi Knights, and Jedi Masters get absolutely dismantled by Grievous and just get taken. He's not even a Force user, and he was able to take them out swiftly. Also, too, which in my opinion is an underrated feat, is that she survived all the Clone Wars as a young Padawan, and she was able to take out a lot of clones and survive Order 66, although it was due to the help of Rex while she was able to escape, and Maul. But it's still a feat in itself. A lot of Jedi died. A lot of Jedi Master died and were completely blindsided by this. She was also able to go one-on-one with Maul and really give him some work. And honestly, at this point, if you really watch the fight, I know a lot of people say that Maul didn't actually lose here. He was trying to turn her, which is partly true. The only reason why that's partly true is because Ahsoka was able to disarm him with his lightsaber while she had none. And if you listen to Maul during this part, he is completely winded and out of breath while fighting Ahsoka. I think this was more of a case of them going blow for blow. If you hear Ahsoka or Maul at the end of this fight, he was out of breath and like he was really working himself. I think this fight was similar to Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar. They were both going blow for blow and they really gave each other their all. Now, one of Ahsoka's biggest feats is that she was able to go blow for blow with Vader for a little bit. Granted, she was a bit younger and she was a little bit more spry and a little bit more stronger at this point. Well, I won't say more stronger. I think we all know that the Ahsoka that we got in the Ahsoka show is the strongest version of Ahsoka yet. But you know what I mean. She was way stronger than when she fought Maul initially back on planet Mandalore. Now, she didn't win this fight whatsoever. Don't get it twisted. She didn't win this fight. And if they went blow for blow again, I guarantee you Vader would completely dismantle her. But I think this was a bit of her more or less just trying to survive. Just give herself some time. Which, again, is not an easy feat whatsoever at all at this point. That's not easy to go toe-to-toe with Vader for a little bit, even if your intentions is to just stall and survive. So, with all that information given onto where Ahsoka's feats are surviving Order 66, also as adding in there that her masters were Anakin Skywalker and she was trained by Plo Koon sometimes and even Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think I can confidently say that Ahsoka's around Maul level. She's just around that level, hovering around that point. Also, maybe even a little bit stronger by the time where she's at now in Ahsoka, but I say that she's around Maul's level. I won't say she's around Anakin level, I won't say she's around Obi-Wan's level, but I think around Maul is just fine, or maybe even Qui-Gon Jinn when he died. I think to say that she's anything less than that is just a bit too harsh of a grading on a character like that. I think that we can agree upon she's around Maul or Qui-Gon Jinn level of strength. So with that segue, I think we can confidently say that Baylan Skoll is also around that level. I think that's a perfect counter for Ahsoka at least, because she's able to take out run-of-the-mill Inquisitors easily. And also, Baylan was an Order 66 survivor himself and was obviously a high-ranking Jedi at some point during the Clone Wars himself in order to know who Ahsoka and Anakin Skywalker both were. This all confirms that Baylan is not just some ordinary guy, no ordinary Force user, and also prove even more onto that, and that is Baylan Skoll was contacted by the Sun. Yes, by the end of Season 1 of Ahsoka, we see that the Sun is the one who Baylan Skoll was hearing from and that he was searching for this power that was calling out to him. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, that who is this? I mean, this really doesn't prove anything, but I just don't think personally that the Sun will waste his time with any run-of-the-mill Force user. At the end of Ahsoka Season 1, we see Baylan walking across a statue of the Father, and directly to his right is the Sun. And it's pointing to some light that's flashing off in the distance, and I think that's the power that Baylan is finally looking towards. I think that's the Sun right there. And earlier in the season, we see a bat creature flying around, which does and pretty much resembles and is the Sun, which I think plays an even bigger role going forward in the Ahsoka series and in Star Wars in general. If you remember at the end of the Mortis arc in Clone Wars, the father used Anakin and they transferred the daughter's essence into Ahsoka to bring her back to life. Which is why, and is my concluding fact as to why Ahsoka and Baylan Skoll seem evenly matched, or if not Baylan being a little bit more powerful than Ahsoka. Which is why right now we see that Ahsoka and Baylan Skoll are just almost one and made for one another. They are destined to fight and battle it out, as Ahsoka is going to be essentially the catalyst for the daughter, and Baylan is going to be the catalyst for the Son, with Anakin serving as complete and total balance, as he is acting as the father now. Now that Anakin has passed, he is perfectly balanced finally and able to save people from dying even. Which also means that this isn't the last time that we'll see Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka Tano battle it out on screen. So, in conclusion, I'd say right now Baylan Skoll is slightly more powerful than Ahsoka, but it's not by a wide margin whatsoever. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. I really love to read it. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day.